Welcome to the Bass Prediction Center, where weather, seasonal patterns, and tournament trends come together to help you catch more bass. We're keeping it quick today with a stormy weekend forecast and a red-hot day one at the Bassmaster Classic. And yes, Trey McKinney is showing out like a future legend. I don't know if you guys saw the Bassmaster live today, but Trey McKinney absolutely hammered him with over 26 pounds and 9 ounces to be exact. This guy is an absolute phenom at only 19 years old. He's the next KVD. He's the next big name in bass fishing, Roland Martin, whatever you want to call it. As you guys know, we're going into a warming trend this weekend. Ray Roberts is going to be heating up, so these bags are only going to get bigger, okay? So expect some absolute giant bags to come in, maybe even 30 pounds on Saturday or Sunday. Should be an absolute smash fest. But a portion of the field, almost half the guys didn't even catch a limit today in the Bassmaster Classic because of the wind mostly. That's going to die down as we head into the weekend. Should get even better. You're going to see some names pop out that maybe you didn't think did too good today. So keep tuned to Bassmaster.com. Watch the live. See what happens. It's going to be absolutely epic. If you guys don't already know, we have a goal of 500 subscribers right now in the Bass Prediction Center. We're halfway to that goal almost. So if you love fishing and you want to stay ahead of the bite, click the link below, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon. Let's grow this thing together. Let's make this the best fishing channel on YouTube. All right, guys, jumping right into our weather, let's look at precipitation for the country. And as you can see, I thought we were going to have a beautiful Saturday and Sunday for y'all, but we are going to have some storms brew up starting Saturday overnight. They're going to happen right here in Missouri and moving into Illinois. And these could be severe. The chance is not super high that they're going to be too bad, but you could expect some high winds and possible some hail there. It's not going to dip down into the Bassmaster Classic, but if you're in the Missouri area overnight, just be safe. Not going to affect fishing because this is going to be overnight, unless you're fishing maybe like a walleye spawn or something like that. But these are going to take place overnight, and then you're going to get some snow up here in Minnesota, and we're continuing to have a bunch of rain and snow in the Northwest. Kind of goes hand in hand for this time of year. As we move through Sunday on this thing, first thing in the morning, it's going to be raining in Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, Indiana. If you guys are fishing in those areas, just watch out. Northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, you're going to get some snow out of this thing for sure. And then these storms are just going to push east as they do in this time of the year. So as it moves into Sunday evening, this is where we're going to have a problem. So the heating of the day is going to bring some convection along a line right in here, and it's going to stretch from just east of Dallas. I think Ray Roberts is going to be fine, all the way up into Pennsylvania, and it's going to form a line. These could possibly be pretty strong. They're going to be a line of thunderstorms, so you're probably not going to deal with much tornado activity, but you will have some high winds and definitely some hail in some areas. And basically, these are just going to push overnight into Monday morning out, and they will weaken into Monday as they push out into the Atlantic Ocean. And then Monday shouldn't affect anybody too much, maybe some rain in the southeast, but that's our main problem going into the weekend. If you're in these areas, you're going to want to just watch out, especially if you're fishing on Sunday evening, maybe like 6 o'clock. You're going to want to be off the water in these areas. Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, eastern Texas. Things could start firing up. Then just keep an eye on the weather. Have a weather radio. Have your life jackets on in your boat. Keep an eye to the sky, and y'all should be safe. Let's move on to some temperatures for the weekend. All right, we've got here our temperature anomaly map. As of right now, this is Saturday early morning here. And we do have a big, massive cold air that's sitting here in Canada and a little bit into Minnesota, and that's right behind that storm system that's going to be coming down Saturday evening. The rest of the country is looking pretty decent. You're a little bit below average in the southeast, a little bit above average in Texas and the southwest. Ray Roberts is sitting right here in this warm sector, and that is why you're going to have a beautiful weather for the Classic, and things should be warming up and really help the bite. Northwest, you're cooler than average. And then as things progress through Saturday, this cold mass is going to continue to push southeast and really cool things down in the Great Lakes region, and will affect a little bit of stuff in the east here. A little bit cooler weather, nothing too wild. But Texas is going to stay warm, and then the Great Plains and northern Great Plains are going to stay very warm. It's going to be great for fishing if you're in those areas. Northern California, Northwest, still going to be cool with all that cloud cover, but the rest of the country should be warmer than average, which is nice. And then on Sunday, things continue to move east. Let's see the high for Sunday. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. Minnesota and North Dakota still looking cooler than average. You guys can't escape winter. The Northwest a little bit cooler than average, but along the coast you're going to start seeing some warming temperatures, which is great. The whole Southwest, Texas, and the Southeast, you're warming up. Next week's looking fantastic. You guys are going to want to tune in on Tuesday to get the weekly forecast, because this may be one of the best fishing weeks of the year so far. Let's move on to wind. All right, guys, one of my favorite new maps we have, it's our wind gust map. And as of right now, Saturday night, things are looking very good, except for up here where around this storm system. We're having some 30-mile-an-hour gusts all up in the Midwest and some parts of the Northeast. Texas looking much better. The Classic, I was worried might get canceled on Friday. They got out and fished. They switched boat ramps, and they made it happen because they don't want to postpone the Classic, of course. So as we move into Saturday, first thing in the morning, you're looking at pretty decent winds. There's going to be a little bit gusty weather, but nothing too terrible. 18-mile-an-hour gusts. Up here in the Northwest, some gusty areas, but once again, not too bad. Western Nebraska, this is like a cakewalk compared to normal. And then around that storm system in the Northeast, it is a little bit gusty, but 30-mile-an-hour gusts. If you're out on the water, just be safe out there. You're going to have some waves, but nothing too bad. And then moving through the day, the winds will pick up in Texas up to 25-mile-an-hour gusts, but not nearly as bad as it was over the last week. And then throughout the Great Plains and the eastern Rockies, it will be gusty and windy. That's pretty normal for this time of year. And then moving into Sunday morning, it's going to be a little bit gusty, 30-mile-an-hour for the whole middle part of the country. Western part, very calm, very beautiful. You're going to be fishing on Sunday. It's wonderful. Northeast and Southeast, very nice. Also, just going to want to watch out for those storms, but the winds should not be too bad, except for where the storms are. And then Sunday evening, that's just going to push east with those storms, and we'll stay windy in Nebraska as always. So, all right, reviewing our baits of the week from earlier in the week. Post-spawn and spawn areas anywhere south of the Oklahoma-Texas border, you're seeing some spawning. They're seeing some spawning on Ray Roberts. Just starting to see some bass on beds. I heard Brandon Lester or Brandon Cook. Yeah, Brandon Cook talk about seeing some bass on beds, especially with the warming trend heading into Sunday. But if you're in those areas, you can definitely throw a fluke at this time of year. And my favorite fluke is the Impact Shad, and that's now made by Lake Fork Lures. Mark Pack, rest in peace, designed this lure, and it's one of the best out there. Has a little notch before the tail section, so you get some incredible movement out of this thing. I'm going to pair this thing with the new Core Tackle Scamper Rig, guys. This thing's going to be a killer. Just came out. If you haven't got it, you need to go to coretackle.com to get it right now, so you have it ready for spring if you don't already. Pre-spawn areas, 6 Cents just came out with a Scramble 106. This is the new best plopper bait on the market. This thing comes with all the great colors that you know from 6 Cents, super sharp hooks, and the action is next to nothing. Guys, get this thing, get back in a shallow pocket where it's warm on a warming trend, and you're going to hammer the biggest fish in your lake. In your winter areas, I had to put a Ned rig on here finally. I've been waiting. It's been 5 weeks we've been making these videos, and I had not put a Ned rig, but it's just time to do it. And if you're going to be throwing a Ned, you got to be throwing a Z-Man. The Finesse TRD and PB&J, you can't beat it with the Shrooms head unless you're in some really sticky areas. This thing will get it done around rock, everything. Work it super slow, depending on the coldness of the water. You're going to catch a few fish on this thing. So, guys, those are the baits of the week. You can't beat them. You pick one of these, if you pick one of these and you're in the right area, you're going to catch some fish. All right, guys, that is your BPC weekend update. Don't forget to drop a comment with where you're fishing, what you're seeing, and most importantly, who you think is going to take home the Classic this Sunday. As always, send us your big catches and your lakes of the week, and we'll include them in future videos. We'll see you on Tuesday for the full weekly breakdown. Tight lines, stay safe out there, guys. Watch out for big weather.